Hello and welcome everyone. A warm welcome to Women Together. My name is Antoinette and I am the host of Women Together with our wonderful team. And we have a special guest today. So I look forward to welcoming Dorian Baroni, who some of you may remember. But just a warm welcome. And wherever you are in YouTube or Zoom, you can type directly in the chat just a little hello and maybe tell us where you're coming from. We typically have a group from all across the US and sometimes around the world. So a warm welcome to all. It really has been a joy to be connected to each other in this way and just to have little bits of interconnection, maybe just once a week for some of us. We try to stay connected in an online conversation space. Next week, we'll start, or October 6th, we'll start our circles practice where we'll come together in smaller groups and stay together over that 6-week period. So wonderful. We have some locations coming in for our group. So we're here from Reno, Winchester, Massachusetts, South Florida, Boise, Dix Hills, New York, Boston, Vermont, New York City, Hampton, East Hampton, Toronto, Vermont, Ellicott City, Maryland, and more Vermont. We've got Vermont really representing today. So warm welcome to all of you from Vermont. And wonderful. So just a really great, just a warm welcome to all. And what we love to do is just, if you go into the gallery view on Zoom in the top right corner, for those of you who can do that, if you're on YouTube, sorry, you just have to stare at me. But if you're on gallery view, you can see each other and see the group. And what we'll do is just do a little wave hello and just find 4 squares. Oh, sweet. And just find 4 little squares and just a welcoming. And as we welcome ourselves, welcoming these 4 squares in and just really seeing them and seeing these wonderful women who are coming in. So if you're not on video yet, it's a wonderful way to just connect and just be together. And that's really what we're doing here today, is just connecting with ourselves, connecting with each other, and just landing. At some of us, it's the only time in the week that we get to just kind of land and cultivate this moment of resilience so that everything else that we do, any other way that we go forward, we are somewhat connected, maybe a little bit more. And I've been, reading a lot of different articles and books and, just reconnecting with some of the practices. And in some ways, this is a way that we regulate ourselves. This is a way that we find community and connection with each other. So we are going to do a kind of a slight modification in the way that we connect with each other. And I'll let Dorian do that because it really is a practice. So this coming together and this connection practice, it's not something we do once and then it's done. It's really something that we do together and we have to keep coming back to, because part of that regulation practice happens internally and individually, and we can do a lot of things like walking and to help with that, but we also need to do that in community. So this is really a rhythm that we have together in connecting with each other. And we will be continuing throughout the month of October as well with these connect calls, and we will have the circles practice. So what I'd like to do is offer a little moment of stillness, and we'll do that by listening to the sound of the bell. So it's actually a singing bowl and it gives off a particular sound when I ring it. And for a moment, just staying with that sound. And even after the sound is gone, just staying with the sound in the mind. And sometimes that practice of resonance allows us to tune in and to begin that practice of reconnecting. So if you'd like to get your feet flat on the ground, sometimes that's helpful for me. Maybe feeling a sense of uplift in the spine. You can lower your gaze or close your eyes. Just landing here. And then following the breath with the sound of the bell. Wonderful. And as you tune into the sound of the bell and the sound of maybe your own breath, sometimes thoughts come in, thinking about what the next thing is, and just always giving yourself that that's what's there, that's what's coming up. You kind of, that's okay. But it's also an opportunity to just kind of let that go for this hour and just tune in. And that's the invitation of the bell, the invitation of the sound, the singing bowl, is to just to tune back in to that internal rhythm, that internal space. Um, so what I'd like to do is offer us a chance to just share a little bit of our intention for today. What really brought you here? What are you hoping to get out of today's session? Is it something, just getting a moment of stillness, perhaps, or perhaps to see our wonderful guest, Dorian Baroni? So either way, we just give you an opportunity to type directly in the chat or in the comment section on YouTube, and I'll read a few of those out. I see a few coming in, so I'll just give it one more second. But just noting the ones that are in, just get centered and take a little time for my, I'm guessing, self and my breathing. That was from Elizabeth. Kathleen, a chance to pause and connect. Connie says, I've been feeling isolated, and I think you are not alone in that feeling, Colleen, or Connie, sorry. Kathleen, needing the healing power of this amazing group today. Marilyn, my weekly dose of serenity. Suzanne, following a 3-day meditation retreat. Connecting with women is appropriate for me. Lisa, continuity and stillness as fall calendars have gotten busier. Some time for stillness and reflection during a very busy day. Looking for women to feel more connected with. Joyce, COVID fatigue, a need for some space and some connecting to positive energy. Eileen, love that this provides a lovely time out. Leah, time to consider changes in a safe place. Barbara, an opportunity to continue feeling good after last session. Jean, to connect with other women from around the country and the world. Oh, this is wonderful. This gives me something to show up for and get out of my head. Feeling connected to the world of women I never would have met. Wonderful. So there's a lot of wonderful. I'm just trying to see if there's anything up in the YouTube, but I think we're good for now. So just see here. Yeah, okay, a couple. Hello from Connecticut. Looking forward to hearing from Dorian. Drawn to the idea of practicing connection. So a warm welcome to all, whether it's your first time or your maybe you've been here a number of times before, week after week. Many of us have been connecting, but really this is exactly that, a place where we can just connect with each other, connect more deeply with ourselves. And the way we'll do it is we'll hear from Dorian for the next 20 minutes or so, and then we'll go into breakouts together, and Dorian will guide that practice for us. So Dorian is a very, very dear friend who I've known for many years and comes from a variety of different practices. She's founded and holds a group called the Women Agents of Change, which I am constantly inspired by. And Dorian and I most recently worked on a project with the UN together with the Presencing Institute. And Dorian has really given so much support and guidance and coaching to so many women around the world, but also to the young women who went through the Eileen Fisher Leadership Institute, and really has just given so much so many gifts to all of these young women around the world. So grateful for you, Dorian, being here with us, and for all the work that you do with women and all the coaching for executives that you do, and to bring your wisdom and knowledge and guidance here to us is so wonderful. So thank you, so generous.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And such a generous introduction. I always feel a sense of trepidation to meet the expectation of what was just shared. So welcome, welcome. And I so needed to be here today with all of you. So this is a gift in my week, in my month. And I am just very appreciative of everyone who's here and those who are listening from afar. This started out as a conversation that Antoinette and I had, where we started to share some notes on what we were noticing in the world and in our communities. And it led me to notice that the need for a sense of safety, for a sense of centeredness through connection is a key dynamic of our times, of these uncertain times. So finding a sense of safety through connection in these more visibly uncertain times, because times are always uncertain, but it feels right now around the world that there is more complexity, more polarization, more uncertainty that is facing us or that is present for more of us in our awareness. And it led me to wonder, how does polarization and this need for safety connect, relate? What is the connection between the two? And I wanted to share some thoughts on that. In some ways, as uncertainty rises, our need for safety rises. That is just a part of being human, a part of being women together, a part of being women agents of change. And one not so virtuous way to find a sense of safety and connection is through polarization. Find our tribe, find those that are like-minded, find our bubble. And in that, feel safe, feel more secure, feel more connected, feel heard, feel seen. The cost of that is that it's at the exclusion of an other end of a spectrum. We have to have an other in order to feel connected to a particular tribe. And so polarization in some ways, both giving us a sense of safety, but at the same time, increasing the sense of uncertainty. It's this vicious loop. The more we polarize, the more those in our poles feel secure, the more we feel uncertain in our times. So I wanted to offer us all sort of a reflection on that, on how might we bridge again? How might we find bridging through connection? And how might connecting more deeply to ourselves and to each other allow us to practice eventually bridging across vaster differences, noticing that the polarizations are just the human need for safety and that we share that at the very least across our differences, perceived or otherwise. So what I'm going to introduce in this session is a simple practice of coming to authentic stillness in oneself and voicing from a place of deeper connection some truths that are present for you today. It's not all of you or the complete sense of who you are, but just some acupuncture moments of, here I am, I will make myself visible to you, and I will listen to you as you make yourself visible to me. And it's a simple practice that Antoinette and I are both very familiar with. It comes from the Presencing Institute. It's an invitation to listen and to voice at a deeper level, rather than at the surface where we're looking for agreement, or at the next level down where we're looking for facts. This is listening at the heart level. What do I have to voice from the heart that is worthy of being said right now? And what is the other person voicing from his or her heart that is worth listening to at this moment? So that's what we're going to be introducing as a practice in our breakouts. So I don't want to spend too much of this precious time explaining this. I really want us to get into our practice groups in the breakouts. And there'll be 3 questions, which we will be invited to answer in sequence. And the sequence is important. The first question that you will be asked to share briefly is your family background. What comes to mind today? Where you grew up, or your siblings, or your nationality? Like something about your family background to make that visible to the others in your breakout room. The second question and answer is about, what are 2 defining events or people or choices, 2 in total, that shaped your life? as you sit in this circle today, what comes to mind? What are the two events or the two people or the two choices? So you have a brief moment of that introspection and sharing whatever bubbles to the surface. And then the final question, what is brewing in your personal life and work life right now? What's present? What's occupying you? What's delighting you, energizing you? So background, one or two events or people who have shaped your life, and what is brewing for you right now. And we're going to ask each person to just share 5 minutes, very short little introduction, the answer to those 3 questions. And I'm going to add a bit of a twist on this breakout possibility. So it may be that not all of you will have the time to share your answers to the 3 questions one by one. That is okay. That is reality. We live in complex and busy, time-bound lives. So for those of you who might not be able to take a turn in your breakout because the timing will be restricted, I would like you to notice how active the role of witnessing is. You are contributing just as much of a connection by listening to the others as by having the chance to voice. So if you're the 3rd or 4th person who just doesn't get around to being able to share because time runs out somehow, take that as a practice. Notice the discomfort, the frustration, I wish I had been able to, and hold it gently. You have witnessed at least 1 or 2 other people share. In an ideal situation, all 3 or 4 or 5 or however many people are in the breakouts will be able to do their voicing, but this will be a dance, voicing and listening. And so I just pay attention to what emerges as you feel the realities of time take over our practice. For those of you who are on YouTube, you can journal these 3 questions, journal the answers to these 3 questions for yourself. And then our invitation is consider who you might invite in your work or in your life to sit and do this practice